What is up, heroes? This is Midnight Zero, and once again, like the week prior, I am joined again by the masochistic man with a passion for challenge as fiery as the hair atop his head.
What's up, guys? It's Nate. Nick, I need to stop you there. That was... might be the best intro. Yeah. Incredible.
I mean, just wait, gotta save the best for last, so...
Oh, I'm excited.
But, anyways, I'm excited too because we get to talk about the previous challenge and all the participants and their incredible submissions, and I'm excited for that. And, of course, as you might anticipate, we've got a new challenge for you, and something that's cool is this is going to be what's called a YouTube premiere. So nobody can jump ahead to the end of the video, see the results or anything like that. And I'd imagine a lot of people are actually watching this and chatting about it live, or rather, a small core of 10 to 15 people that really care about Hero Vs Zer0 are watching it now, and a good 70 to 80 people watch it after, because YouTube analytics, am I right? But regardless, let's start by talking about the previous challenge. We had everyone, all of these heroes, go through the very first dungeon from The Legend of Zelda for the NES. However, contrary to the typical player, you weren't allowed to use your sword. You actually had to go through and use other means to get past the enemies, get keys, and make your way through the dungeon. And along the way, you had to pick up the arrows so that you could defeat the final boss with them. And then Nate, you stepped it up a bit.
I did, that's right. For the Nate difficulty, you had to do it no damage, and as a pacifist run. Crazy, yeah. Right?
And it was a pretty, off-the-wall pacifist run as well. That even, defied expectations. You had to pull some interesting techniques to try and get keys from enemies without taking any damage and without damaging them as well. So it was a pretty tough challenge, and it was reflected in the number of entries we got. I think there was a total of 6 entries, which is a little bit lower than normal, but I was very impressed with all of them, as was Nate, of course. Mm-hmm. And let's get into those. The first one I want to talk about is the only normal level completion that wasn't also like a Nate level completion. That was by Fey, so thank you for doing that. Like I said, every single submission this week was really cool, and that includes even those that weren't the Nate difficulty. And thank you, YoshiGamesTJ, for at least trying the game. I appreciate the effort in at least, giving the game a go. But, of course, you guys are here for the top 3 to see who made it, who didn't quite make it on the podium. But in third place, we are going to have Mr. Leo, who said I don't have to pronounce the numbers at the end, luckily, because I think they're 4901, but I'm not 100% sure. Sorry, Leo. But Leo had a really cool run. He actually joined the competition pretty late. He's got going on his runs relatively late in the week, but he actually came up with a really cool strat for getting the keys from the skeletons. Are they Stelphos?
Oh god, I have no idea what their names are.
I think they're Stelphos, or something like that. Skeletons, for simplicity. Where you kind of have to clip the sprite of the skeleton to get a key from it without actually taking damage. And it's possible, and it's a really tight, very precise technique. However, he came up with a really cool strat where you just space yourself just outside the door so that in a skeleton's like normal movement path, it'll move and it'll be just the right distance away so that when it crosses your own sprite, it'll just naturally give you the key, simplifying the process of trying to get that key by a ridiculous amount. And actually, he paved the way for some other people to try and get some better attempts as well. So it was really cool seeing that, something that totally, went over Nate and I's head when we were testing these challenges a while ago, and eluded so many participants up until he showed it when he, submitted it. So really good stuff on that, Leo. It was really fun to watch your run.
It was crazy because when I did the run, it just felt like pure RNG. But he sort of, it was still RNG, but he kind of eliminated some of it because he just kind of chill out a bit and just let the skeleton walk past you. Like, with...
at the very least, took out a lot of stress.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of runs, you were, really dependent on the initial pattern of the skeletons and where the key was in the room. But Leo kind of eliminated at least some of that, and it was really impressive. But also, second place, we got Noah. This man... he was on a grind. All week he was going for that sub 5 grind. And he got it just in the nick of time. Using Leo's new strat, I might add. But it was still an amazing run. Props to him for keeping at it. He had some frustrations, but the man was determined. I respect that.
Yeah, no doubt. He submitted a run really early, too. I think he had the first completed attempt as well.
Yeah, he did.
And I think he halved the original time he got it in. So it's a really good improvement over the course of the week, and it definitely showed, getting to that second place spot on the podium. So congrats for that solid finish, Noah. And then in first place, as those of you who participated probably know now, is going to be Taprus Light, who had an incredible run. I'm obviously going to be showing it on screen right now, so do give it a look. What's really cool is he was one of the first completed runs, the first sort of final form of submission for the challenge. But what's also really neat is he showed all of his setup, all of his pre-work. Now I want to reassure the other people that participated in the challenge that this didn't contribute to his placing as first, but it is a cool thing worth noting about his run. Because prior to actually entering the dungeon, you have to go around, you have to avoid enemies, you have to collect the bow, you have to get the blue lamp?
Yeah, the blue candle fire stick thing.
Blue candle, yeah, blue flame. And you gotta get plenty of rupees. And you have to do all of that before actually getting to the dungeon. And he showed all of his prep doing that and everything, which is really neat. And it makes it that much more difficult to get runs, in a timely manner as well. And then of all of the runs, he had the fastest one, clocking in at 4 minutes and 14 seconds for clearing the dungeon. The only other person to get below 5 was Noah, and then Leo clocked in at about 5 minutes and 24 seconds. So really impressive run, very clean movement, overall just incredibly impressive. So congratulations, Taprus, for the solid finish with last week's challenge. And I think that just about covers it. I know there was some frustration with the Stalfos/skeletons and the RNG involved. Again, I want to stress that Nate and I really try to make these as skill-based as possible. There's only so much you can do between choosing games that are available to a lot of people, whether it's via emulation or, even in-browser game playing, or something that is very accessible on Steam or something like that, and trying to make it as skill-based as possible. And this upcoming challenge is going to be 100% skill-based, so you can definitely look forward to that. Nate, why don't you reveal what game they're going to be playing?
And this week's challenge is going to be I Want to Be the Guy. Now, this game is notorious for being difficult, but despite that, it's still completely skill-based. There's no RNG, there's no nonsense like that. And the normal difficulty for this challenge is going to be going from the first screen straight at Mike Tyson and beating the guy without dying, not once. I don't want to see a single death anywhere. Not at all. And then for the Nate difficulty, you're going to be doing the same thing, except at the second save point before you go high up in the sky, you got to take a little detour left to get a super top secret item. Don't tell anyone about it, it's really secret. Get that item, come back, kill the guy, and there you go, that's the challenge.
And there you go. The rules are really simple. We say it every week. We don't think there are any loopholes or anything like that. I really think, I Want to Be the Guy is straightforward. But if there are any loopholes or any questions, you guys can always let us know.
There always is.
Again, you got to start right from the beginning. The moment you load your save file, all the way to beating Mike Tyson without dying once. That's really what it comes down to. And then for the Nate difficulty, you got to go out of your way to get that secret item before coming back to beat Mike Tyson. And if you have any, if there's any, questions or anything like that, you can always watch our runs that are playing on screen right now. Something that's going to be very important this week is going to be how fast you're able to complete this. So do give that a lot of extra effort. And honestly, that's all it really comes down to. This game is, 100% skill-based. It can be learned. There are some tips. There's actually a really important tip for people that are on Windows 10. This game has a tendency to crash. So before actually playing it, I highly recommend you go into the properties of the .exe file and change I forget which setting it's in, but change the setting so that it's run in Windows 98 compatibility mode. I had it crash on me a few times before doing that, and I was totally fine afterwards. It's not worth the frustration, just do it right off the bat. Yeah, and if you guys have any difficulties with that, be sure to let me know. It's been a problem since the game was released, forever ago. So you can always look up troubleshooting for that online as well. And I think that just about covers it.
Can we talk about the totals? Oh my god, they're so close.
Oh, you're so right. Yeah, so the totals up to this point in the overall series, we have in first place with, with 14 points, we have Ben. And in second place, we have 13 points for Noah, or the Hockey Gamer. I should mention Ben is Myerscodex. And then in third place, we have Leo with 11.5 points. And I realized I didn't touch on this before, but in order to keep things weighted similarly from week to week, but also to reward Ben, who wasn't in the top 3 for having completed the Nate difficulty in the last challenge, but still give Leo an advantage for placing in the top 3, we have elected to give Ben 3 points for completing the Nate difficulty, Leo 3.5, Noah 4, and Taprus 5. I should have mentioned that before when we were talking about that from the last week. So good catch with the point totals and everything. Honestly, we talked about it for quite a while, and we think that that's the most accurate representation of overall challenge weighting and everything. So hopefully you understand there. And then, now that that's covered, in fourth place with 11 points, we have Taprus. So again, first place is 14 points, second place is 13 points, third place is 11.5, fourth place has 11, and I think the fifth place after that has 8. So really, this is a tight race, and especially for those of you that are vying for that top spot, this week is going to matter a lot. This is the final challenge. This is going to be the challenge that determines the end results. So do, give it your best shot, and I really look forward to seeing everybody's participation, at the very least. Entries. This is a fun game. It's definitely a fun game. It can be a very frustrating game. I'd encourage everyone to at least try it, even if you're no longer in a position to attain one of those final spots, even just for your own edification, learning about the game. Even if it's for just achieving your own goals, seeing how well you can perform, how well you can do. Maybe give the people that are vying for that top spot a run for their money. Make them really earn it. If you can beat one of them out, prove that you can, right? So I highly encourage you guys to try the game. It's a really fun one. And yeah, now I think that just about covers it. Do you have anything else?
No, I think that's pretty much everything.
Yeah, the usual, same deadline, Friday night, 11:59 p.m. PST. YouTube video, submit it on Discord, please, to either myself or Nate. And that should be all. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us on Discord. You can leave them in the comment section below, and we should be able to get back to you. But that's just about all for now. We will excitedly see you guys, or anticipate seeing you guys next week when we have the final results and we can announce the winners, the top 3, and talk about the season as a whole and everything, which is always a fun time. So until the next episode, this is Moon Knight Zero
and Nate,
and this mission is complete.